Good morning, team. I am very much looking forward to welcoming Darren Evans to today's podcast, who is, you might know him as Three Word Runs. He is also a founding member of the Green Runners, and he also runs Pair Ups, that amazing little fixing up kit that you can have to fix up your trainers when they get holy. Forgive my appearance. I am in the middle of a house move, and yeah, there's chaos everywhere. So luckily, I'll be a very small box when Darren is talking. I'm also really happy to welcome Clair Heaviside as a guest podcast host. Claire is one of my testers. You may see her. She recently wrote a review on the Innovate Mud Talents. And she has given me some great support with Run Ultra. And again, I would like to thank Core Body Temp for their sponsorship and their support of this podcast. They've been very kind, and they've been supporting us for several podcasts now. I'm still waiting on Nick Hancock's review on their new sensor, the Core 2. But judging from what his comments were in the last time, it's definitely a good one to have, slight improvements from the first one, which is great. So really, I think it sounds to me like heat training is really on the rise, and something that can benefit people, particularly over winter, getting ready for summer. And in fact, Darren might even have some comments to say on that. So without further ado, let us welcome them both. Hello, Darren. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
Hey, Katie.
How are you? How are you both? Darren, Claire, Darren.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Claire.
This is Claire's first time, so we're just throwing her in the deep end.
Okay.
Claire has a very professional podcast where she has a very professional looking studio where everyone sits, and here we are.
Wow.
I've just apologized. I look like the cat dragged him backwards. I feel awful. So I'm going to keep my talking to the minimum so that my face pops up less often.
I like where Darren sat. What is this box?
Yes, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is a backdrop that we did at the National Running Show as part of the Green Runners. So Carla, who's from Brighton, she came up with us, and she did the storyboard. So people would come through, we'd tell them about the Green Runners, and then she'd draw what they told them their top thing was to take away. So it was all about run local, reuse, run with joy, repair your kit. And yeah, she created this. So yeah, I now use it as part of my backdrops for events and stuff like that, just to spread some joy.
It looks fab. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
I want one.
Run Ultra live drawn backdrop, Katie.
Yeah, that's it, and it's all done on cardboard as well. So yeah.
Yes, I can see. Yeah, that I think that's brilliant. Oh, how lovely.
Thank you.
Well, how have you been, Darren? It's been. When did we had you on with Dan, didn't we?
Cool. Yeah, that was
before.
That was the year before. That was the Three Peaks, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Three Peaks,
Yes,
and then
it was.
did the West Coast Path.
Yeah. You did that last July, wasn't it?
That was July. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy few weeks. But yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, it's been good but crazy. So I think I spoke about I was kind of bought a van and was doing traveling and stuff like that. So I bought a van, got it all done. Everything was it's sitting outside. We took it on the Southwest Coast Path supporting Dan, and then went to Love Trails in between time, where Holly Stables then went and kind of ran with Dan during that Southwest Coast Path, and then we went back from Love Trails. But yeah, so we've been testing it out, but yeah, and we're homeschooling my son as well because we were going traveling for 2 years, house Airbnb, like all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, Jane's parents are in their 80s, and they, especially her dad's not that well. So we had an honest conversation about going traveling. She didn't feel that she could
Yeah.
with that situation. So, which is fine. It took me about 4 weeks to process it and get the frustration out. And I started doing lots of runs, just to kind of work off that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. I've yeah. You have to be adaptable and change, don't you? It's like a running plan. You have
Yeah.
to. Life gets like that
Yeah.
sometimes. So
And
so
it's
yeah,
only put on pause. I mean, I imagine in the
yes,
future you
it's
will be
pause.
able to.
Yeah, no, it is a pause. It is a pause for sure. But what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is I'm going to try and mix the two up. So I'm going to go to loads of different events now. I'm going to use the van to go further afield to do more events, talk about pair ups, talk about the green runners, meet some of the amazing running community that we have out there. So I'm going to still fulfill my need to go traveling. But yeah, we'll just have to put kind of Europe and the whole sort
The longer stints.
Scotland 500, on hold for a bit. But other than that, life is good.
Excellent, excellent. You've got the Longbridge 100 backyard coming up shortly,
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's in fact, the last 2 years we've been at the National Running Show, so I've had to
Wow,
squeeze the
yes.
National Running Show in before the Longbridge, and quite often it was just 7 days apart. So all that planning for a National Running Show, and then
Mm.
go straight into the Longbridge. So I feel kind of, I'm kind of questioning myself. Is there something else I need to be doing? Because feels like it's all
Yeah,
okay at the moment. So little
too
tweaks here and
organized.
there. Yeah, I think so. And we've got, yeah, so we started using 4G wireless cameras as well. So
Mhm.
for yeah, just a new. So at the turnaround points, yeah, so we have a camera now at the turnaround point, so I can speak to the runners, we can see them. So if for any reason that we don't have marshal cover, then it's fully covered. So
I thought
it's
that was for the parents-in-law for a minute then. Sorry.
yeah,
Darren,
but yeah,
what's your expectations for this year? Have you got some people on the start line that are going for big distances?
yeah, I think so. We've got a guy returning called Andrew Churchill, who smashed a few yards out, and then kind of just decided that I think he was doing a big race, so he only wanted to do a certain amount, but he was fresh. He was so fresh. We called him Three Whistle Andy, because he was there at the start on the 3 minute whistle. He was there.
Ah,
So yeah, I think he could knock out some. I think he's probably got 30 yards in
Right.
him. And I don't know about if you know about the Long Bridge, but it's a standard format backyard, but it is 695 feet of elevation each yard.
Right.
So it's
that's
a
gotta
it's,
hurt.
it's a tough one, 695 feet of it within a 4 mile. We call
Mm.
it brutal but beautiful. But so
Yeah.
we'll never get to the 50, 60 yards because it will just be too
What is
much.
What's
the
the
record there?
Sorry,
What is the record there?
31.
31.
Yeah, so 31. Yeah, so we do one for the winter. So
Yeah.
the winter one is 30 and the summer one is 31. Yeah, so
Wow.
but this summer just gone, we couldn't even manage 24 because it was during that weekend when we had 36-degree heat and it
Mm.
was just crazy. And I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever run on the South Downs with the chalk,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
reflection, that
Yeah.
that kind of compounded the kind of heat element. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Claire
but
did the South Downs 100 last year.
I did.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
so
So
good.
I know the South Downs way pretty well, but
Yeah, wow,
but,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Well, I was there doing pair ups with so
I,
Jane.
I remember you were there right at the beginning, weren't you?
Yes, yeah,
Doing the little fixing and workshop.
that's
Had
it.
a
Yeah,
stand there. I remember. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That
Which
was
is
it.
which is really cool because you've got people coming there who are about to take part in a race. Now, are they coming to you with kit for that race? That they like.
You would think not, but but I had 3 runners coming on Friday evening, asking me to patch them up so that they
Yeah.
could run in them. So 2 were running in them, and 1 was in their drop bag. So
Right.
yeah,
You
so
need
yeah,
you need to be at the end, Darren, surely.
yeah. Well, I normally am on the South Downs Way 50, because yeah, so that's quite nice because they finish at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Whereas, the finish on the 100, I could be there at 3,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning. But
that's
it's
true.
always nice to be there at the start, and especially with the 50K race last year. So I think, yeah, it was quite nice because you had the 50Kers there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
it's good fun.
50K.
Yeah, they do a 50K run from the start of the 100 miler. Yeah, and it finishes at Queen Elizabeth Country Park, I
Yeah.
think.
Super speedy, that one. It's a
Yeah,
super
Oh,
super
speedy.
right.
speedy.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Super
didn't know
Yeah.
speedy.
that. Is that all
Yeah.
part of the same weekend with the 100 and the 50 miler?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all, yeah. So the 100 miler goes off, and then the 50 goes off after the hundreds have gone. Yeah, it's
Oh,
amazing.
right.
James, I mean, I love James's events. I've ran the I've ran the 100 hills. I ran it the first time when we had like 7 hours of pure rain and slosh and mud. And then I managed to run it with my youngest daughter last year. It was her
Oh,
Oh,
first
lovely.
ever. It was her first ever ultra, and yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was so beautiful.
how old's your daughter doing her first ultra?
My youngest daughter is 34.
Yeah.
34, yeah. So yeah, I had to get that right because yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My
Good,
eldest
think
daughter's
about that.
36. So
And
yeah.
she got the bug now. Is she going to do more?
Yeah, she has. Yeah, she's struggling with, fitting in training and stuff like that, but she really has got the bug, and I think yeah, I'm pretty sure 100% she's signed up for the Maverick Brighton Trail Marathon
Yeah.
that links nicely with the Brighton Marathon. I don't know if you know, but
Yeah.
the last 6K, you get all the trail runners and the
Oh,
road runners all running that route to the finish. So,
that's
which is
Good
cool.
grief.
beautiful. It's a combined finish for both, both kind of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's such a nice concept. And I was
Yeah.
speaking I was speaking to Kate yesterday, Kate Chapman, because obviously I've got a bit of history with Brighton Marathon, with
Yeah.
calling out Buxton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
Is
yes,
this the
that was,
cardboard water bottle?
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, we have very much a love-hate relationship. So I love London Marathon events. I love what they do. I love the fact that they saved Brighton Marathon because grounded events went bust and they stepped in at the last minute. So I love all of that. I just
Yeah.
hate the Buxton impact because I'm part of plastic free community, plastic free Seaford, and the amount of plastic bottles you get washed up on the beach, and it's
Mm.
horrendous. And to have all those bottles like just flying around, I mean, 400 odd thousand bottles they handed out, of so yeah, I kind of ran it as a Buxton, and then yeah, luckily we got so Buxton wouldn't pull out, obviously, naturally. So we went down the council route, changed the policy, and Buxton are not there this year. So
Right.
they have a new sponsor, which is going to be announced tomorrow.
Amazing.
Ooh.
So I might just add it in a bit later.
Yeah.
Kate didn't
And,
say I couldn't say, but it's going to
and
be announced. So
Well, you
brand new.
won't be. I can't remember when your podcast is going out, but I think it'll be in like 2 or 3 weeks. So
Oh, perfect. Then I
if
can
that
say,
helps.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be announced tomorrow, along with they're having a 1,500 runners called the Team Green. So the new sponsor of Brighton Marathon is Hydro Pack. So it allows runners to carry their
neat,
own
very
water.
neat.
Yeah, so it fits in really nicely, and the fact that they've got rid of the plastic bottles, they're going to have paper cups, which is it's a much better alternative, but they've got 5 refill stations, and Leave No Trace Brighton, who were very supportive of the campaign to ban Buxton with the council connection. They're going to be manning the water refill stations, and it's amazing. They're like a huge tank, like kind of square tank, and they've got I think it's 12 taps around. So you literally got, it's quick push,
Yeah.
quick push refill. It's really good. They've really put a lot of effort into it. And yeah, so
And is this the direct result then of that lobbying that was
yeah.
the catalyst of you wearing that big cardboard water bottle and then starting this campaign? Yeah,
Yeah. So we try to, I've tried to liaise with Buxton, emailing them and everything,
yeah,
and it got no joy, and they'd only come back and say all our bottles are made of rPET, and rPET is it's a 10-year-old sort of conversation. We
yeah,
don't need recycled plastics.
Mhm.
So um, yeah, so I kind of did that to raise awareness. Leave No Trace Brighton got involved. They reached out, which was wonderful. They knew Tim Rokins, who's the head of sustainability within Brighton, because of their link with Leave No Trace Brighton. We had 3 meetings with the council. They changed their events policy, which then didn't allow single-use plastic bottles. So Buxton or London Marathon had to find another alternative.
I just think that's so powerful because a lot of people who will be involved in running will have a sense of wanting to do something to make the planet better or the world better or life better for people that like being outside. They're
Yeah,
not quite sure what to do about it. You saw something that was really, really distinctive and almost obvious. Like, we're right by the sea. Why are we allowing thousands of plastic water bottles just to be thrown into the streets?
yeah,
And then you kind of galvanize this community groups together to say, like, we're not going to do it on our own, but together we can just change this one thing, and it's
yeah.
massive.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I didn't realize at the time. I just did it for a bit of fun. I felt a bit of a prat, running. So I tried it out. I think sometimes it's best not to try it out with your friends when you're going to do something crazy, because I did it at my local park run and I tested it out, and
Right.
people were just going like, the people who can kind
Yeah,
of give you a bit of ribbing.
yeah,
I think if anyone is going to do something like that, don't test it on your friends
yeah.
first, because they'll try and deviate you from it. So yeah, so just go and do it. If it sounds right and it feels right, just do it. You never know what will happen.
Yeah,
You never know.
incredible.
So were Buxton under contract or something?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're under.
why? Yeah.
Yeah, they got a 5-year sponsorship, so they're still going to be at London,
Okay.
because yeah, I guess the councils, because I think they run through something like 5 or 6 borough councils, that trying to get that policy changed, I guess, would be really
Okay.
difficult.
Right.
So yeah, they're still going to be at London, but they're just banned from Brighton because of the single-use plastic event policy bit, which is the bit that we were able to get changed, which
Yeah.
is yeah, which is good, but yeah.
Do you think I don't know if you guys have noticed the rising trend in wearing vests
Yes,
for road
100%.
runners? And so do you think that must be really helpful because they can put the bottles,
Mm,
the soft flasks and
A hundred percent.
and be able
yeah,
to
A
recharge?
100%. And that was well, it was my argument. Well, there's 2 arguments. One is, if trail runners can do it, then why
yeah,
can't road runners do it? And I know there's an element around pace and stuff like that, but I don't know many people. I don't know many runners that can run and drink at the same time. You have to, as in, from a cup or whatever. So and also, if you're training for a marathon, and it's maybe your first or second marathon, you're going to have to put, maybe 2 or 3 20-mile training runs in.
yeah,
You don't have someone giving you a bottle of water every 5K. You have to be
Mhm.
self-sufficient.
yeah,
And one of the things I noticed last year, so I was there last year with Pre-Loved Sports. So Pre-Loved were invited down to Brighton Marathon, and I was helping them out on the stall. And then once my shift had finished, I then went and watched the majority of the marathon up above the marina by Rodine School, and I took loads of videos, and it gave me so much hope. I saw so many runners running with vests that I hadn't seen the 2 years before when I'd
yeah,
run the Brighton Marathon and saw all the plastic bottles. And so I
Mm.
think there's I think there is a sea of change happening.
Yeah.
And it comes to, it comes with education as well, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, that's really interesting that you've seen that change, because I guess like I wanted to speak to you about from your perspective, Darren. Obviously, you're like co-founder of Green Runners, and you're so connected with people who are pushing for change in the way that the running like community operates. But then there's also at the same time, I guess, this like you would say boom in the popularity of running, and particularly in road running. Now, I'm hesitate around that because it's only within certain demographics. It's not like everywhere, but those demographics tend to be generally younger people in
yes,
cities. And those are the people who are probably more likely to take part in road races, sign up for marathons, and have, I think, a level of expectation of what it means to enter a race like that. Like, I'm going to have a t-shirt, I'm going to have a medal, I'm going to have
yes,
water at every 3K, I'm going to have a goodie bag, and it's there's like this real like conflict, I guess, or tension between this rise of like the green runners and people who are trying to educate on it doesn't need to be this way, plus this surge of people entering the sport who are coming in with an expectation. And is that like a difficult thing to manage from where you're sat?
yeah, it's a real dichotomy. It really is. It's and especially when I'm glad you mentioned, sort of London, Manchester,
Yeah,
these big cities where all these, social running,
yeah,
Friday evenings and stuff like that, and to music and I don't think that primarily is an issue, and it's great for the sport. It's great to see a real shift change around this. There's this kind of movement of it's not cool now to go and get pissed at a nightclub on a Friday night. It's cool to go and do a 10K run, like with some music. So I love that element of it. What I don't want to say hate, yeah, what I hate about it is, most of those small groups are run from WhatsApp groups. So you have a run leader who has they set up a WhatsApp group. But now these brands are now
yeah,
infiltrating these WhatsApp groups, and that's something that you just can't, you
yeah,
know. So we're kind of hoping that the education that we kind of give, or just getting runners to think about just a little bit differently, and also the cost of it, is, we're going into, economic hardship, and kit doesn't get any cheaper. So, try and buy it secondhand. It's
yeah,
just getting those. And the good thing is, vintage is becoming quite cool as well now. So, there swings and roundabouts. But yeah, in answer to your question, it is a
yeah.
bit
It's like, yeah,
challenging.
battle with the brands, isn't it? Because
A hundred
obviously
percent.
they're sat there looking at, they're looking at their trend reports or trend forecasts for the coming years, and they're going, we're quids in. There's
Yeah.
this rise in running. There's this group of society who've got disposable income, not that
Yes.
many responsibilities. They're loving running. Let's tap into it and get them to buy as much as possible. And then you're there going, it doesn't have to be this way. So
Yeah.
it is like I guess it has to come from the groundswell, doesn't it? Like it has to come from educating the runners and then educating each other.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And it's not about finger pointing either. It's
Yeah,
about, it's important to find the joy in it as well, because otherwise you just keep pointing fingers and saying, oh, and it's not about being perfect. It's just about making simple changes. Simple
Mm.
changes. That's all it is. But it's so important that the running is about getting out, body movement, social community. That's why I love the backyard ultra,
yeah,
because everyone starts on the hour, and it's so social and community driven. So yeah, we shouldn't forget that,
yeah,
and I get lost in the whole climate piece. So I don't think I can do anything to affect climate change, although it's in our umbrella. So I get overwhelmed when I think of climate change, which sounds a bit, I guess, crazy being a co-founder of Green Runners. But there are co-founders within our group that are more experienced or have more expertise in that area, where my bit is around kit and speaking up and waste. So that's what I'm. So it's not, and I eat meat. I'm not a vegan. It's not. It's not about being perfect. Just make the changes, or create some joy and passion in the bit that gets you. Does that make sense? I don't know whether I'm.
It does. It can be the fear of being perfect, isn't it? It can be like
100%.
paralyzing.
Exactly.
And that's probably one of the things that would prevent people from signing up to Green Runners, because they're like, well, I can't because I'm I'm not perfect, so I'm not good enough to, and I don't know, probably most listeners to this podcast probably know about Green Runners. You'd think so, but maybe it's worth just giving a little bit of context to, what the organization is or how it came about.
Yeah, so oh, wow, yeah, this year is our fourth birthday, which is crazy. We had a Zoom call the other last Monday, and yeah, 4 years on April the 22nd. So we kind of got together a group for COP26, which was back in 2021. We were pissed off with COP26 because ultimately it was around climate, because climate does have an impact on our sport, because these crazy, I mentioned the Long Bridge, 36 degrees in that weekend. It makes it almost impossible, and then you've got athletes that are collapsing in Europe and all over. So there is an element of climate change. So that's why we kind of it was around climate initially, and then we started then looking into the amount of waste. So we all came together and gave our bit, and then we've got 4 pillars: how you move, how you kit up, how you fuel, and how you speak out. And all we ask is runners to make a pledge under one or all of those pillars, just about something you're going to change. So it may be under kit, no new gear for a year or something like that. So it's real simple stuff. And yeah, it's thegreenrunners.com. If you join, you make a pledge, you can then get a Green Runners badge. And ironically, there's a Green Runners badge there. So I actually send out the Green Runners badges. That's part of my job. So anyone who signs up will get the Green Runners badge from me. But ironically, so we get these made on old t-shirts, old race t-shirts. Pre-Love Sports make them for us. And ironically, I don't know if you can see on the back. So my history is I was 36 years with Asda.
Right.
And we only got these on Thursday last week, and it's just come full circle. It's like,
what
and
is it? What is it? What was it?
Sorry?
What was it?
It's an old t-shirt. It's a race t-shirt. They were raising money. So the Asda Foundation, it was there was a one. So they were doing a run for a colleague, or so these are like the old race t-shirts, and that's what we do. So Michael from Pre-Loved, he gets sent all the old race t-shirts, which is great because there's so much waste in race t-shirts. Don't get me on that one. But yeah, it's ironic. I sent out the ones on Friday, and ironically there's that. So in my first,
you're keeping it.
Yeah, in that first introduction, like how it's all changed with the whole van and all that sort of stuff. That was kind of like a message, like everything's come full circle, So you got to remember, the small stuff as well, and take value in that. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
How did you go from working in Asda for 36 years to founding Green Runners, and where did ultra running fit into that? Like, was it the retail side of things, and then you found running and that inspired you, or was the change, the environmental kind of change, always there? Or
so I guess the environmental thing definitely came first, because I was so sick and tired of the amount of plastic that was being generated, and also the amount of waste that was being thrown away. That perfectly good food, that was nothing wrong with it. Like oranges, apples, bananas, everything that is not a use by but a best before. If it was one day past, if it was on that best before date, and I don't know if you've seen, there's some social media posts about, M&S at the moment and all the food waste that they're throwing away, and it is an issue within retail. But there needs to be a common sense approach. And I used to get my wrists slapped by my regional manager for giving away perfectly good product, because I couldn't bring myself to throw it in the bin.
What's wrong with giving it away?
It all comes down to profit, so if you give product away for free, that's perfectly okay, then someone's not going to pay the full retail price. And it's that whole thing around P&L, and they want to protect their profits, they want to increase their sales. So so anyways, before I then left, so then I got into running kind of to help me with stress, just 5Ks, 10Ks. My first race was the Brighton half marathon. A manager that used to work for me, he was a good runner, and he kind of got me into it. So we run the Brighton half for the first time, and that kind of got me into it, and I loved it. And I used to then get out just to de-stress from work, because I was running these big multi-million-pound shops. And luckily, after having a few tough conversations with my regional manager about the amount of waste that we were generating, we then were the catalyst for FareShare. So we then created a partnership with FareShare, where any product that had gone past its best before, we could then donate it to FareShare, and FareShare would distribute it to food banks. So that was kind of, so in answer to your question, the environmental piece came first around waste, and then I started running. And then when I was 49, I came off my mountain bike and fractured my T3, 4, and 5. And that was kind of my life epiphany. I then thought, I don't want to be, consult. Luckily, I was with Asda. I had full bupa cover, etc. And the consultant said those injuries are normally associated with a broken neck. So I kind of reevaluated my life a little bit, and then I had a 5-year plan, and rather than like spending money crazily, I started saving, putting as much as I could into my pension, and then I retired when I was 54, just to run and be out in nature, and just that, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course, it makes so much sense.
Then because I didn't have the stress of work, I then found myself writing odes. So
Yes.
I became quite creative.
I wanted to ask you about your odes. They're on your website. So yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, so there's an element of creativity, I guess. But yeah, I try and get out what I'm trying to say. I kind of found a way of doing. So I started doing West Ham odes. So I used to me and Dan are big West Ham fans, and I used to watch the game and write an ode as it was played out, and then video it, and then obviously then started writing about running. And then when Dan did the jog, I wrote about him and then sent it to him, and then that's how kind of we connected. And then so I just started writing odes, and that was kind of the catalyst for the kind of Green Runners, because we did a ode runners for climate change, and that's where Jasmine, Damien, and everyone had. So yeah, it was really lovely that Damien used his contacts to get everyone to record a bit, and then I put it together, and then we shared it, and that's the kind of that's how the Green Runners. So it was bizarre.
It's amazing when you tell your story, because it every part of it just joins up really perfectly in looking back. But I guess at the time you were just kind of following what you truly believed in and trying to make an impact where you could. And it's just phenomenal that you've got such a movement now, because Green Runners is global. And what's your, do you and the other co-founders, do you have a plan for what you want it to be, or what you think it might become?
We're working on it.
Global domination.
Say again?
Global domination.
Global domination, yeah. It has been a journey. It started off as a WhatsApp group. So and then we kind of found the greenrunners.com on a Zoom call, very much like this, and we bought the domain name straight away without really thinking about it. So everything's been a bit kind of from the gut, I guess, rather than strategy. It's all been from the heart and the gut. But we just started. So we're ready to release. We've been working on greener clubs and greener races. So we've been able to create a audit. So like for greener clubs, so we're using our partnership with England Athletics, where we can help running clubs become more greener. So they do a self audit, and then it tells them how they're doing, and then gives them suggestions on resources of how to become more green. And then we've got a green races audit. So any race directors out there that want to try and do a bit more, make it a bit more environmentally friendly, then
send it to me.
Yeah,
so I can send it out.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, we're in beta testing mode at the moment, so we've sent it out to a few race directors. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. And it's all about education. You know, me and Nina have got a call with a lady from the Kilian Jornet Foundation about their race kind of audit as well, that they've just released. And it's not about, it's not about being the best, or it's just creating something where we can create change, if that makes sense. So if you can, if you talk about goodie bags, if you can get rid of buying crap from China into a goodie bag that 50% of the products they're not going to use, i.e., t-shirts or whatever. If you can maybe get local artisans to create something, it's keeping that local, it's keeping a local business.
It's like you've got behind you have the option to opt out of medals, and it reminds me of Robin's kettle tune fell race, Katie, that he organises, and the local school create the medals.
Oh yes,
and so when you cross the line, you get like one of the children handing you a medal that they've made, and it's beautiful, and and sustainable, and something that you actually want to keep.
Yes,
rather than
and it's got feeling behind it and meaning. It's so easy now with online shopping that you can get anything you want, but is it meaningful? What does it mean to the local community? What aspect of the race does it relate to? And I think that's what we need to just bring it back to.
Like, why are we running?
Why are we running? Yeah,
why are we running? Are we really running for the bit of metal on a ribbon at the end, or 100%. Are we running for something else?
Exactly that. Yeah.
The other thing to bear in mind, I've spoken to some people about races that are held abroad. It's so much better for the race itself, for the event, if they've got local communities providing local, or they're there with local stands offering cheese, local produce. It's part of something that's more meaningful, something that they can take away. It reminds them of the race and of the region, and as you say, it's not something that's just been bought on Amazon for 50p. But it also draws in. It's giving back to the local communities around that race. So it's almost a sort of a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you?
100%. Yeah. Involving local community. So I can only base on what I know and what I experience. So we give a bag of coffee to our Longbridge winners, it's literally roasted on site, liquid spirit coffee roasters. They literally are 50 yards away from the start finish line, and we put it into a 4.167 ounce bag, to represent the 4.167. All our food is produced by Beth's Kitchen and Cakery, which is seafood based, and it's all vegan, vegan malt loaf, vegan flapjack. So it's really important that it's
creating a good feeling with the locals. So often having trail races, people can get a bit, "Oh, I don't like them running around and leaving marks and whatnot." So you're creating a um, a, a a relationship with your local community and giving back to them.
Yeah, 100%.
Hugh Williams from She Ultra is brilliant at that as well as a race director with Beautifully Brutal over on the Lim Peninsula. I know one of his philosophies is very much about, it's the local brownies and Girl Guides, and it is all the local people that are manning all the aid stations. He never wants it to be, I'm bringing in a team and then we're just going to disappear 48 hours later. Very much about bringing and showing off that area and showing off the produce and the people that are working there, and bringing helping the local economy as much as possible. And so people do really care about these things. It does make it more meaningful and special, and then it creates a better vibe for runners as well.
Yeah, which is why I now love looped races. Looped races are so much more environmentally friendly than point to point.
Sustainable,
you have to create this especially on the 100 mile, and me and James have spoken about it, and but with Dan, we were able to prove that you could crew on a mountain bike, so
true.
Yeah, so you can, there are ways around it, and I'd love it. I was at Blue Earth Summit, and I spoke to Chris, head of Sport England, Chris Boardman. Yeah, and we had a really lovely conversation about trying to incorporate races where the best runners get crewed by the best cyclists. That's cool. Just to try and bring that community together, which I think would be wonderful. So yeah, it's
the cyclists are a bit faster.
Yeah, but if you could, yes.
That just
well, you're saying that. So when Dan did the 100 miles South Downs Way, when I crewed him, he did it in 14:32, which at the time was the second fastest time.
Wow.
And I wasn't allowed to cycle behind him. I had to use the road network, like every other crew. So you're putting in a lot more kind of miles to try and stay ahead, to be fair. But it can work. There are ways to make them more sustainable, for sure.
Yeah. And I guess that brings us on to, I mean, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the chat about the backyard. Now, I'm going to just pick your brain because I got caught up in Sarah Perry fever and accidentally signed up for a backyard this summer. Now, I don't know if I'm 100% going to do it yet, but I did get caught up in it. So it's a Suffolk one that I've signed up for.
Nice.
But Darren, give us your insight as a race director of a backyard, and you also do, is it the Rathfinny?
Yeah, the Rathfinny Run, which is
as well.
on a B Corp sustainable vineyard. Just
which
down the road.
Just beautiful. But any kind of backyard ultra tips that you can give?
Yeah. So kind of the sweet spot. You don't want to do it too fast. So for those of you that don't know what a backyard ultra is, you do a 4.167 mile loop, and you have to do it within an hour. So that loop starts on the hour every hour. You have to be in the start corral, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 1 minute to the bell going. And if you're not in that corral, then you're basically DNF. And then you'll start together, and then you repeat until there's only one runner left. The sweet spot, so 4.167 in an hour, you're looking at sort of 13-14 minute miles. So to get back within the hour, which may sound a bit slow, but this isn't about pace, it's about endurance. And based on experience and what I've seen, I've got to mention Zoe Salt. She was our longest distance female in summer last year. And her race admin was unbelievable. Literally 52 minutes. She'd get back in, she'd wrap up quickly, she'd have something to eat, she'd change if she need to, she'd get a 2 or 3 minute sleep when she needed it, and then be ready to go again. So, and looking at the times of the laps, like we had a guy last year called Sergey Predko, who literally did the lap in, it was constant. He did 11 laps at 35-minute pace. And
Wow.
yeah, 35 minutes on that elevation. It
Wow.
was crazy. I mean, his marathon speed is 2:38. But it was unbelievable. But he stopped at 11, you know. So he holds the record for the fastest lap, which is amazing. But
I'm quickly calculating all of this. So yeah, that's 45 miles he did.
yeah,
And then what was the elevation? 690?
695 feet. Yeah. So he's
11. So yeah, 7,500 feet of
yeah.
elevation.
Yeah, the winner, so the winner of the 30, the one who holds the record, yeah, theirs was it 120, 124? I think 124 miles, and it might even be more, but it's 22,500 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
which is crazy. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so in answer to your question, sweet spot for running a backyard, especially Suffolk, because it's nice and flattish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweet spot would be, I would say 52 minutes, which gives you know, there's this thing about beware the chair. It's, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of time in an
Yeah.
aid station, and all you got to think about is that the end of that loop is like an aid station. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about crew for a backyard? Because I think that's probably worries me more than the actual running of it.
yeah.
How do you prep a crew to be a good crew at a backyard, and what do you really need from them?
Um, as much the same as any crew during an ultra or long distance race, really. Just to be prepared, so they'll need to know what time. So I ran the Brighton Backyard Ultra last year just to experience what my runners experience, and I managed 15 loops. But I had a set target, so I planned it out beforehand. I was aiming for 50-minute loops, so my crew, Kirsty, knew to get everything ready, not too early because I didn't want my tea cold, you know. So, you know, so I think all you've got to do is kind of plan what time you want to do each loop, and then when you want to do your kit change, when you want something to eat, you know. So, and we kind of planned it that way. So it was we had it all drawn out, and drink all every yard. Um, Eat every third,
Yeah.
pizza on the fifth. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just
Yeah, I
basic
guess
like
you can be quite regimented, can't you? And I just thinking back to when I was crewed Robin, who normally co-hosts this podcast, on his 24-hour track race last year, and we thought we had such a good regimented plan of this many laps round, or this is what will happen on this hour and that hour, and very quickly it was just a case of throwing gels at him and shouting, "Keep going."
yeah, right, yeah,
Because it's just
yeah,
going round and round and round.
yeah. No,
But I
I
think, yeah,
agree. I
maybe it's with
agree.
the backyard, you can be, because you have these 10-minute slots where
Yes,
it's like, we're going to prepare for that 10-minute slot. We're going to be really focus our attention in that slot. And
yeah.
then we've got 50 minutes to go away and prepare for the next one. And it is more regimented, isn't it?
It's much more regimented because you literally start a race every hour. It's effectively a new race every
Yeah.
hour. So you know, like Sergey, he had 25 minutes downtime,
Yeah.
which like yeah, that would do my head in. I'd be just yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
but then others would come in at, you know, 57, 58 and be really constant on 57, 58 and then take stuff out with them, you
Yeah.
know. So it's not about eating it all or drinking it all you know, before it starts again. So yeah, it's really interesting, but I really love it. I do it just for the community feel, and the biggest bit of feedback I get is we get runners that have never done anything like it before, not even an ultra, because you can kind of set your limit at
Yeah.
a sort of a marathon, or you know, it's and they learn so much from the more expert runners that you've got
Yeah.
in the field. So everyone's talking to each other, everyone's social, everyone wants everyone to get back.
Yeah.
No, it's a real community. It's amazing.
And I
Yeah.
imagine it also gives everyone that is crewing back at base, they've got their own little community going.
Yeah.
You've got opportunities there for local producers to come and set up a stall, sell pair ups, have a sort of, oh God, the shoe's gone. Can you mend this quickly, please?
Yeah.
Or whatever. You've got a base that's in use constantly.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's where I'm really lucky in the fact that we use two barns, like farm barns, because in the Brighton Backyard Ultra, it was very windy at times, and a couple of the guys that turned up with a gazebo, the gazebo just collapsed. It's literally gone. So you have to take that into account as well. So if you are having crew, and we open out to camper vans or cars where they can base themselves out of a camper van and car. So if it's going to be sort of inclement, if you've got a camper van, it's the best option because it's sturdy, it's safe.
Yeah.
Whereas your gazebo, you're taking a bit of a risk with the elements.
Does it get a bit crowded at the? I mean, runners presumably want to be as close to the line as possible, so they're not hobbling off too far. How do you manage that?
Yeah, there is an element. It's first come, first choice, really. So yeah, we have we like to say we have the two main barns, which the majority of the runners use, and we have about maximum maybe 8 camper vans or cars that use the space just outside the barns. And for seating, all we offer is a hay bale. That is it. So every runner's space has a hay bale to keep in with the kind of natural element of it, but also you don't want them to be too comfortable. So we don't want them
to
get back out there.
Get back out there, yeah. So
well, they also make quite a good bed, don't they?
Yeah, they do. In fact, David Bone. Last winter, David Bone was running with Jan Vush who won the race. David was the assist. David's crew got everyone's hay bale and made like a double bed. It was like his own separate house made out of hay bales. It was so funny. But yeah, it's just and they're the little stories that you get where you don't get in a point to point. You're lucky if you maybe see 4 or 5 people that you have a chat with on a point to point. And again, that's why I love it. And big shout out to Sarah Perry. I mean, she's unbelievable. She's unbelievable. So kudos to her. And it just raises when you have runners like Sarah and Jasmine, it just raises the profile. And then you kind of think, well, back to your earlier point, this influx of runners that are kind of learning this now and understanding what it's all about. I think, it's thanks to people like Jasmine, people like Sarah that are, getting on the news where else would you talk about ultra running and anything like that? It's Jack Scott, I
think you say, was it this winter one that you said on the back of Sarah, your winter backyard sold out?
Yeah, well, we do always sell out, but we sold out early. Yeah, we literally sold out early. In fact, I've still got 22 on the waiting list, which is mad. And in fact, I've just had a runner called Lucy Farrell, her training hasn't gone to plan due to illness, so I've deferred her to the summer one, and it's just freed up one space on that waiting list. So we have a 24-hour. So you get an email, and then you've got 24 hours to make a decision whether you want to come in or not. So that's interesting. But yeah, I think so. And our summer race next year is a silver ticket race. So the winner gets automatic entry, providing they're UK based or from the UK. They get into the top 15 to represent the UK in the World Championships in October. So, this is, the summer one is. January one's amazing, and I work them around the full moon as well. So we got full moon on the 1st of February. So yeah, and also the winter one, they run for 13 hours at night, so it's literally pitch black for 13 hours. So if you want to see any bit of daylight, you've got to do at least 54 miles before you'll see any daylight.
Wow.
So it's a different animal, but the summer one is looking interesting, just specifically for that silver ticket race, because
Have you had some interesting entries then because of that?
I'm not really looking, if I'm honest. I know it's filling up. We've only got 10 spaces left. And I won't look at that until I've got this one out the way, because I have to compartmentalize things, otherwise I could be completely all over the place. But it's going to make it interesting for sure, because that prize of you'll be running in the same team as Sarah Perry if you win the silver ticket race, no matter what distance you do. And yeah, brilliant.
Amazing. Come on, Katie, let's go for it.
Yeah. So you want to change out the Suffolk one?
Yes, Claire, I think that's far more relevant to you. I'm definitely not ready for a
Katie, come down.
But I really would. It's definitely on my to-do list, but I have zero endurance at the moment, so
okay.
Okay, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Claire might have one as well, but I really want to know, and it's a bit of a curveball. What is a Fibonacci sequence?
Okay. So you've obviously read a recent post.
Yes.
So there's this theory. So Nikola Tesla kind of came up with this theory, and I've been really interested in it around energy and free energy in the ether, as in AETHER. And there's kind of a feeling that he was able to harness energy from the ether, so free energy. And he had this mathematical equation called the vortex, which kind of links everything to resonance and energy. So instead of multiplying numbers and getting a sum, what you do is you add up the individual numbers. So and the sequence, if you add up all the individual numbers, is 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So no matter what number you pick, if you double it and add the individual numbers, no matter how many times you do it, you could do it for infinity, you would always get the sequence 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and it repeats itself and it repeats itself. And it's linked to the way leaves form. It's linked to the way our DNA is constructed. It's amazing. It's just, it's really got me thinking about things completely differently. And in fact, there was a lady commented on my LinkedIn post, and she's a sleep consultant, and she kind of reinforced that it's all about rhythm and energy, but natural energy. So I think that we are, we're just a battery, basically. We're a salt battery. I mean, if we were to collapse in the street, the first thing a paramedic would do would give us a saline drip to make us better, which is salt water. So it's I've really started looking how, holistically we can.
And are you thinking about tapping into that? Because obviously, I mean, your joy of running is a huge part of who you are, and your I suppose the importance of being happy, staying positive. Do you think that somehow you do this you sort of tap into it naturally, or is it something that you think you can tap into consciously? And right, I'm miserable, I need to tap into this Fibonacci sequence to cheer me up.
No, I think I'm half cup full, but I have my moments, and then I rely on that to keep me half cup full. So I don't say I ever wake up like, but that's because I run. It's because I eat okay. It's because, I'm grateful. And a lot of people use the word grateful, but I guess going back to my earlier point, I fractured my T345 and was told by a consultant I might never walk again. So every time I'm out, I remember that, because you have to be grateful for movement, and don't be too hard on yourself if things aren't going right, just, we, so we do a lot of work with WOLO. So WOLO is a local cancer charity. So especially with the Rathfinny Run, um, and I'm going to mention it. So on Friday we went to a funeral for a lady called Judith, who's Hungarian. She moved over to the UK, married Martin, had two girls. And 6 years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She fought that, went into remission. 4 years ago, she had a brain tumor, went into remission, fought that. And then this year it came back, and sadly she was taken away. But her spirit and her joy. So she used to join us for WOLO Wednesday. We used to do a movement session around Arlington Reservoir. And she was there, rain or shine, and always smiling, always asking why, and just grateful for being out. And I think when you work, so not only personally what happened to me, but also I'm aware of other people that have that taken away, that taken away from them, and we have to be grateful. And yeah, we can put times on, and if we want to do a 50K and we want to do it in 5.5 instead of 6 we did last year, whatever, that's fine. But be in the moment and enjoy the moment. We can put too much pressure on ourselves. So yeah, so the Fibonacci is really interesting, because it's that whole energy sequence and rhythm, and yeah, I just love the whole idea of it. So I'm very early into it, but it really is resonating with me. Yeah. And neural pathways, the way neural pathways are made as well. So yeah, so clever, so clever. So sorry if I've
No, that's fantastic. Thank
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
That was a curveball. I wasn't expecting.
Really powerful curveball, which I wasn't expecting from that question. I didn't know what Katie was talking about at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I didn't either. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, but also bone density, the way where bones are structured, it all relates to Fibonacci.
Wow.
And
But is this like
vortex
the patterns, like in snowflakes
yes,
in
no,
nature?
100%. Yeah, and leaves grow at a 107-degree angle, which also is Fibonacci. And music, so musical notes are created using Fibonacci. It's and there's a lot of thing about resonance and music and how it can repair DNA, and there's frequency, and I think there's a lot of untapped knowledge that we can certainly tap into. And if it helps even just a little bit, and I think Dan has been a real influence on me in that, in the fact that, he's so humble and he's so connected to nature and earth, and it's wonderful.
It does feel like it's what you're talking about there really is about connection, because these things aren't coincidental. It is like we are all connected to each other. We are all connected to this energy and to nature as well. And we can find these things, and it helps us to understand that connection a little bit better in our human rational minds. So it's becomes something that we can then apply within our human rational lives, and that's really interesting and definitely something I'm going to explore. So
and important, I think, in today's day and age, digital, blah blah blah, that we need to remember to reconnect and reground ourselves.
100%. My wife Jane's a solution focused hypnotherapy, so she's got the science. So around our primitive brain and our intellectual mind. So sleep is so important, because REM is almost that data assistant that's filing away all the stresses of the day, to be able for us to manage. Because if you don't have that REM and you don't have that admin assistant filing away everything that's happened in that day, and it carries over into the next day, that's when overwhelm happens. So sleep is so important, and it's been proved now that sleep is so important. So sorry,
no, I don't.
Brilliant. No, thank you. Claire, have you got any last questions
No,
before we let down and
I
go?
think that's a really I kind of just want to go away and do some research on Fibonacci.
And vortex math. So
vortex math systems.
Math. Yeah.
And because I think that's just a really nice and interesting thing to think about, and especially when you link it to that idea of connectivity and gratitude, without gratitude being writing affirmations. It's actually like something tangible and real that you can feel, and then impacts the way you feel about life and yourself as well. So these things are really interesting and important to talk about as well, because if we're ultra runners, we're generally people that are going to be open to that kind of connectivity, and we care about nature because we owe it a lot.
Yes.
We owe it a lot because it does a huge amount for us. Just really, really brilliant and fascinating to speak to you, and just great to meet you and feel your energy, Darren.
Thank you. Likewise. Are you a green runner, by the way?
I am a green runner.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good stuff.
My pledge. I haven't got my badge though, so I'm gonna have to get my badge.
Yeah,
I'll send her for a badge as long as it gets. I want one with Asda on the back.
Okay. We've got different ones. Yeah, it's all good. In fact, I just sent one to Holland, to a lady in Holland who signed up. So I found an orange one for her.
Good.
So we try and yeah.
That's brilliant. So do you get sent? I presumably you get sent a sort of huge batch in one go, don't you? And then
So Michael at Pre-Love. So Dan used to do them when we first started. Dan used to do them for us because he was involved with Rerun. In fact, I've got a Rerun top on, which is it says play on Saucony, but it says so many because of the amount of trainers that are produced each year. But Michael, Michael at Pre-Loved. And going back to kit, if you want some cheap kit, go to Pre-Loved. They're absolutely amazing. And Ali, bless her, she's out on the spine.
Not doing the spine right now, isn't she?
Yeah, she's doing really the spine right now. So big shout out to Ali.
Yeah.
Tracking her.
Who else? Claire, who are you following at the moment?
Well, I had a friend doing the Challenger South, so that was my obsessive dot watching over the weekend, and he finished last night at Challenger South, and about 7 o'clock last night.
Nice.
So now, I'm just watching the battle in the sprint, Damien and John, and Ali's in the main spine, isn't she?
Yes.
So it's just up on my computer all the time, and I'm just jumping between the races.
Yeah, when I last saw, she was having a sleep at Hawes, I think.
Yeah, so, I kind of get fixated on certain people, and then I just, wherever they are in the race, wherever they are, usually, back of pack is great to watch as well, because you just see people running together, and you think, what's going on in that little pack? I bet you're all having a great time.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so many good things going on.
But there's some pretty horrible weather, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
I mean, obviously, it's what you expect, but it's still.
Hats off to anyone that's out there all night on the trot. Just really incredible stuff.
Keep going, everyone.
Yeah, keep going.
Hopefully, you've all finished by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I forget about that.
We've got problems if someone's still out there.
What's the date today? It's the 13th of January. It's Tuesday the 13th. So we've still got a long way to go for a lot of people, but not that long.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Darren.
Thanks, Katie. See you both soon.